Hey, I'm Sophia Myles, and this is the legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
My name is Christian Basil. Years ago, I had an idea. I got myself a TARDIS. Took it to new places, met a lot of new people, took some great pictures, and talked Doctor Who. From Krypton Radio and the creators of the Hanging With web show, this is the legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Join me on my latest adventures and become part of the legend. Hello, everybody, fellow Whovians all over the world. Welcome to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basil. We have a special guest tonight. You just saw her introduce our show, and we will be starting in just a few moments. You're going to be meeting the lovely Madame de Pompadour, or better known as Lady Penelope, featuring Sophia Myles. I've been corrected. I've been having a 10-year mistake on the other interpretation of that name. So everybody, the correct way to say her name is Sophia. I've been corrected, and I've corrected my 10-year mistake. So I apologize to Sophia about this. And I want to welcome everyone to a special edition of The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Thank you so much for joining us. My name, again, is Christian Basil. Oh, God. I put the wrong face on there. And don't forget, you can participate in the live chat. So you can chat with Sophia. And in just a few moments, I'm going to be bringing her on. But let me go ahead and introduce the team. We're going to start with the lovely Mackenzie Floor of the Right of Wands. How you doing there, Mackenzie?
I'm doing well, except that my camera does.
Oh my God. This is the greatest episode so far.
By some definition.
Can we do that thing that Mystery Science Theater where we just put in our own dialogue for Mackenzie?
Well, Sophia, we're actually professional.
It's fine.
Oh, Lord.
Don't worry.
Mackenzie is just right in the field.
It's one of those cases where I need to do that.
Okay. Well, let's see if Mackenzie straightens out there. Speaking of straightening out, let me go ahead and bring in Dave Chapman.
Oh my God, back
Yay. How you doing there?
I'm doing fabulously. My camera keeps cutting in and out too, but I figure I'm taking advantage of in Las Vegas.
Yeah, let's see this is Vegas.
So,
let's see.
Oh, wow.
Get out of the way. Let's see this background thing. Get that chair out of the way. Oh my goodness, that is lovely.
How hot?
Yeah,
how hot is it?
Nobody wants to see me. They can look at that.
Gotcha. Where are you at? Where are you at? I know Las Vegas, but why are you in Las Vegas?
I'm in the Rio. We had a convention called Dice Tower West here over the weekend, and I head off to Reno for the Gamma Industry trade show coming up next week. So I was just sticking around.
Tabletop games? Because I heard
Yep.
the word dice.
Yes, it is.
And back to Mackenzie Floor. This is when she's not frozen like a popsicle stick. There you go. That's what.
Well, this is the weirdest thing is my HD on my camera is not working, and that's why it was black.
Oh, okay.
And this is a brand new
Fine. Speaking of things, because you know my segue skills, the lovely Melanie Dean, co-host of The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. You can check out her Instagram.
But that's what happened. I don't know. It's probably
cat.
feline. I'm guessing, but yeah, my nice.
Oh my goodness.
No.
What on earth?
Very chewy.
Yeah, so that's why I jumped in and I'm like, I can't. What's
Sophia,
going
I'm just wanting to let you know, part of this routine of this show, we have cats and they do take over the show occasionally.
I kicked all of mine out of the room.
What's that?
Okay.
All
Oh,
around.
They will find a way to get into this show. They always do.
Notorious. Mine always do. So we'll see which one of mine photobombs tonight.
And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the special guest of honor tonight, the lovely Sophia Myles. How you doing, Sophia?
I'm good. How are you?
What is that? Christina Louise says Sophia is Sophia. Yes.
Oh,
This
on
girl is
fire.
on
the
fire.
girl is on fire.
I
Oh,
love
thank you,
that.
Christina.
And I appreciate you being up late with us. My goodness, how's family life? How's Luke doing?
Luke is really well. Yeah, he lost a tooth last night.
Of his
the
own
tooth-
accord,
the
or did it just fall out baby tooth?
baby tooth?
Baby tooth, okay.
But I've realised like the tooth fairy when I was a kid kind of brought like 10p.
Right.
And I gave him a £5 note under his pillow. Like,
Oh wow! Geez.
Inflation.
that's like
Inflation.
yeah. But no, he's really well, really, really well. Thank you for asking.
No problem there, because mine would probably give me Bitcoin. So I'm just like shoved a phone under my pillow there. Well, everybody, welcome back to Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. As you can see, we have Sophia Myles on. We can see the chats are going completely insane. So, Melanie, if you want to hit up the chats, let's go. Jane German, well-oiled machine. Shush. Next one.
All these, everyone here knows.
Oh, everyone is just there's some. Oh, hello, Kevo. There is something in there. Everyone I know is having tech problems today.
Yes.
You weren't here earlier, Kevo, because they all started there. Arthur Dykeman from the Guardians of Gallifrey here in Orlando. I'm hoping I'm going to have them on a future show. They are the most, as far as I know, they've been going on. Arthur, I think it's like 40 years with the Guardians of Gallifrey. It's a Doctor Who group that been here for like forever out there. Think about this is exciting. She's one of my favorite companions of New Who. There you go.
Oh, thank you. Is it Nico?
Nico Bat.
Nico Bat.
Nico.
Oh,
I think that's how you
This-
pronounce it.
yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, that's
She
very
follows me.
kind.
Oh, thank you. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can see it down below, youtube.com, The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Sophia, thank you so much for coming tonight. How have you been and everything? It's
Have I been in general or like
in general,
today?
yeah, of course. Oh, I saw you playing Nerf gun on your Twitter feed with
Yeah.
Luke.
we had a bit of a Nerf
There you go.
war battle outside.
Philip
I
Davis says,
Oh yeah, has Sophia suffered any Nerf strikes? No, but he does always like aim for my head. He takes great delight in that. Yeah. And like with me, he's like, "Mummy, you're only allowed to aim below my knees," and then I'm like blasted in the head. But no, I grew up with a younger brother who was Oliver, who was 3 years younger, and I was very much like a tomboy when I was a kid.
Mhm.
And so for me, like I'm much more comfortable playing like boys games than like I wouldn't be very good playing with Barbies if I had a little girl. I never owned one. I thought they were disgusting creatures, Barbies. I didn't understand them at all.
Oh no.
really? What were your
Was-
favorite? What was
So
your
I'm just
favorite?
reading the quote. Was the tooth lost because of your Nerf battle? No. It just
Everybody's watching your Nerf battle. Actually, follow Sophia on her Twitter page. You can go over and it's under her name. And I think
Yeah.
I think at one point you said if people follow you, you will follow them back.
yeah, definitely.
You're still doing that? Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I wish I'd done it. Like I started doing it relatively over lockdown because I did a lot of kind of. I don't know. I shot quite a lot of footage that I put on Twitter when my dad was dying, and I found that the community became so close that now I want to follow everyone that follows me. But obviously, like right at the start, I didn't. So if you don't have a follow, like just shamelessly request one from me, and I'll follow you back.
No, that's fine. And we had a discussion together. Is it okay to talk about your dad?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You can talk about anything.
Because you lost your dad in 2020 due to
Mm.
COVID. I had just recently lost mine 2019, the year before, and that's when we started having a big discussion about things because I knew that you were taking it hard, and I said, well, I just went through this. So
Yeah.
you're going to find a path, but eventually you will find the path that brings you back to your senses. But it took me a while. It hit hard.
Yeah.
And it was pre-COVID, and I know that
Really
well, it was like if he had COVID, it would have been it. That's
wiped
it.
him out. Yeah.
Right. He was already, everything had like crippled him out there.
Mm.
And if you know anything about my mother, she wouldn't have tolerated that no hospital visit. Possibly, she would have torn down the building.
Yeah.
She would have torn down that
Yeah.
building with her bare hands.
Yeah.
So
Well, I was so lucky because Dad died. I think he was the the 57th person in the UK to die of it. So it was like really, really new. It was in 2020. And when I went to visit him, like it was like they'd only just set up the COVID wards and nobody knew what was going on. I mean, the doctors and the nurses were just like, you could see that in their eyes, like they'd never seen anything like it. But luckily, because he died at the start, I was able to see him and to go into the hospital room with him. And I was with him the day before he died. I mean, they only allowed me kind of 10 minutes in there. But yeah, I really actually wanted to be there with him when he died, because I feel like, he was there for my birth, and it would be a huge privilege to be able to, to be there for his death. But, it wasn't meant to be. But I know what you mean about, it's interesting, like until you lose a parent, you can't really quite explain the threshold that you cross psychologically as a result. And to me, it actually sort of equates to, I remember when I gave birth to my son, again, you sort of cross a threshold psychologically, but also like the way that, or for me anyway, the way that I perceived the world completely changed. It was like I was suddenly seeing in Technicolor, having only seen in black and white. And a similar thing is happened, did happen, when my father passed away. And it's very interesting now having a relationship with him in spirit. And in fact, we probably get on better now than we did. No, I'm joking. But
stop leaving the toilet seat up in spirit, Dad.
Yeah, but and he would have been thrilled, by the way, because whenever I used to make movies when I was younger and I'd go and do press and interviews, I'd come home and he'd be like, did you mention me? And I was like, of course I didn't mention you. Like, what? Why would I mention you? And then bizarrely, though, when he died, so CBS News picked up on the story, I think, because I'd been on Twitter, and then also the big English news channels. And so my dad suddenly became like globally famous for dying of COVID, So he kind of, he got his wish, he suddenly had his, his moment in the spotlight. So it did make me smile.
A moment where you just look up and go, see, are you happy now?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, you did it. Eventually you did it. They're all talking about you now.
I had a moment where I was talking to my dad in his final days, and I said, we were talking about his funeral, and I said, my mother wanted an open coffin. Was it awake? Is that what they call it, Melanie? Awake or
yeah?
A viewing awake.
A viewing awake. And my mother demanded that I had a speech for my dad, and I went to my dad and I said, "Is there anything you want me to say to everybody, our family, our friends, on your passing?" He goes, "I'm gonna be dead, so I'm not gonna care." I'm like, what? I don't think you understand how this is going. I need your help.
Yeah.
And that was the way it ended there. So So he goes, "Well, tell him I was a mammal." I was like, I don't think you understand how this is working out.
Yeah.
So I actually told people he was a mammal. So Philip Davies, sent 2 lovely videos to my grandson. He is 5 years old and
I know who this is. I know
the beautiful lady he cried when she died. Oh.
Hi, Philip. I know exactly who you are, and you're just so heartwarming to me when I got your tweet about that. Thank you so much.
Well, I wanted to also. Hi, Janine. I can watch that episode over and over and still love it. It's one of my top 10 go-to. If I ever see it, it doesn't matter where it is. The Girl in the Fireplace. If I see it and it comes up and it's 3/4 of the way, I actually stop what I'm doing and watch it.
Really?
That's how I love that. Yeah, there are episodes like that. The Christmas, A Christmas Carol, is the same thing. I think if you can test it, if you ever have a movie where it doesn't matter where it starts or where it began, you kind of just have to watch it to the end. Do you have those kind of shows or movies that do that?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's certain movies like Cool Runnings, if that's on.
Oh, okay.
Like
yes.
I love all of the old kind of, I don't know, things. I used to watch a lot of like boys films, so things like Flight of the Navigator.
Oh, okay, good.
Sorry, I just absolutely just fell in love with you. Sorry.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I watched all like Goonies, obviously, Coming to America, What were the other? What's the one with
So you're
the
an 80s
robot
girl.
called Johnny Five? What's that
Oh,
called?
Short Circuit.
Short
Yeah.
Circuit. I used
Short
to love
Circuit.
Short Circuit. And then there was also another movie that a lot of people haven't heard of. It's called Spot Marks the X. Do you ever heard of that one?
I've heard of it. I don't know if I've seen it.
Yeah, it's about a dog. I can't remember now, actually, but I remember that was one of the big ones as a kid. But yeah, I mean, the movie that for sure, like I will, if it's on and I catch it for a second, I'm hooked, is Bad Santa with Billy Bob Thornton. That's like, because I'm a real Scrooge. Like, I hate Christmas. I don't know. I think it's because my dad was a vicar or a minister or preacher. Like, Christmas for us, it was always like a hugely busy work time for him, and he was always really stressed. And we were told as kids, oh, well, because of daddy's job, Father Christmas comes to you a day early than the other kids, which was, you know, a bit weird. And yeah, and I think what it is that I don't like to be told when I have to be happy and love everyone. Like, and it's the same with Valentine's Day. Like, no, don't tell me today that I've got to send someone a card and be madly in love with them because of, you know, a calendar, you know? So, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I love giving presents to people and giving gifts, but I like to do it when I'm, like, instinctively feel called to do it, not because, you know what I mean? I'm rambling on, but yeah.
Totally. Because it's very similar with even when you talk about something like depression. That's one thing that I suffer from. And actually, it was something that I watched interview recently, and I was like, we both have that same, we both suffer from severe depression. And your story sounded so similar to mine, even from being a child, from being bullied. And it was actually something, and this is a shout out here to Dead Files, because they were talking about they're talking about spirits in this case, is that sometimes people get stuck in a moment and they just can't get out of that. And I feel in a way that's kind of like when it comes to what they say about depression, is that some people, when you get bullied, you're like, oh yeah, I got bullied. I'll let all the kids get bullied. You have to sometimes blah, 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 blah. You know, they're fine. And then there's some people like me who I couldn't, and it turned into ABP plus PTSD. And that's something I have to live with.
Yeah, it's a really tricky one. I mean, I find that unless you're talking to a fellow depression sufferer, for like regular people who are blessed not to have it, simply can't understand. And I think I said this in the interview the other day, like, yes, it's a mental illness, but it's also hugely physical, because I just energetically am just drained. And I was going to say something important. No, this sort of, I spoke quite a lot about depression and self-esteem when I was at Gallifrey One the other day, because there's the relationship between Doctor Who fans and all of the people on my side of the camera is so strong. You know, I realized though that we have this common bond whereby, you know, a lot of Doctor Who fans kind of out in the real world often feel like the outsider, like they've never quite felt part of something. And watching the show kind of allows them escapism into a world where anything is possible. And for me, and obviously then it can relieve depression for a lot of people. And for me, my work, I mean, it's on the other side of the camera, but there's something I've always said, like, the work is the best antidepressant in the world. Like, it's the only thing that is guaranteed to make me feel better. And I know why it is. It's that when I'm in front of a camera, between the moment of action and cut, like, I am completely present, and I get complete relief from the internal, you know, demonic kind of you're not good enough chat. It just goes away. So it's because I'm like, you know, I don't know about you guys, but first thing in the morning, I mean, I literally wake up to, you should have been better, you could have been better, you shouldn't have done that, you shouldn't have said this now, you know, what are you going to do? And it's just, I mean, at least I'm at a point like where I can be the observer of my thoughts. You know, when I was younger, I just took my inner, you know, I took my thoughts to be truth. Whereas now I can be slightly objective, but it's, you know, it's a daily, not a battle, but it's a, you know, you just have to accept it and live with it. And the problem I always had with depression was that when I would try and vocalize it to people, the answer that I would get so many times would be, well, how can you possibly be depressed? You're a movie star, you're beautiful, you're, got money, you've got so-and-so boyfriend or whatever. And it's, I try to, depression really doesn't discriminate, and for me, my depression is not circumstantial, right? You could take me on a private jet to the Maldives, for an all expensive paid holiday for 3 weeks, and I could still be suicidal in my brain, if that makes sense.
Yeah, Bunny says you're right. They can't understand depression mixed with chronic illness has got me down. Well, I hope everything goes well with you there, Dope. I'm sorry, but yeah, it is a thing, and it's just like it doesn't matter who it hits. I mean, I'll make it quick because I get the commercial break. But Anthony Bourdain, everybody thought he was on top of the world. They were paying him to go around the world to eat stuff. And I was like, but when he finally
just plugging in my charger.
No, you're fine. No worries. But it was,
Robin Williams was another one where it was
Williams
another kind of getting people to understand that depression doesn't necessarily mean all these extra things.
Often, like, depressed people are very, very good at masking it, or we try to. I certainly did a lot of the time, but now, I mean, the great thing about getting older is that I'm actually at a point where I think it's too. I look professionally. I pretend to be other people. I don't want to have to be acting in my real life anymore.
Right.
So, with age comes a sort of, I'm less fearful about, openly talking about it. I think because for a long time, I don't know why, but I felt like somehow being depressed meant that I was failing at something, and that I didn't have the right to be depressed given, everything that I had in my life. But no. And I also think, talking about it by kind of allowing oneself to be vulnerable and to speak one's truth, you give other people then the permission to do the same, because that's another thing about it. It's a very isolating illness, and you can think you are the only one in the world that feels like this.
Absolutely.
I don't mean to cut you off there, Sophia, but we're going to go to a commercial break. And Shirley Wenlock-Hott, she runs the Pandora restaurant in New York. So if you check it out, it is a Doctor Who themed restaurant. When we return, we'll continue our chats and your chats with Sophia Myles. Continue to stay logged on, tuned in, and become part of the legend. Here we go.
Hi, my name is Jamie Engel, critically acclaimed author of The Toilet Papers, Places to Go While You Go, a short story collection suited to match your bathroom needs. Only have to go a little? No problem. I've got stories under 1,000 words for you. Far from poopin'? I've got you covered, with stories over 5,000 words to keep you occupied, while your latrine stays occupied. And that's not all. The Toilet Papers is endorsed by the fine folks from Squatty Potty, the stool for better stools. But don't take my word for it. See what Dookie the Squatty Potty unicorn has to say on YouTube. You won't be disappointed. Well, I've got to go, but you can grab your copy of The Toilet Papers on Amazon in ebook or print, or get an autographed copy from me at therightangle.com. And don't worry, I promise I'll wash my hands first. The Toilet Papers. You might just stay in the bathroom longer than you need to.
You're watching this on our YouTube channel, Facebook page, Twitch, wherever. Thank our friends at Ragin' to Ragin'.
Hi everyone, Daphne Lage here. Join Nita Lanning and me on the Ragin' to the Vlogs show, where we talk about everything, nothing, and all the bits in between. Looking for hour-long conversations about indie comics, social media marketing, and crowdfunding, with the occasional rant and story time? Head on over to the Ragin' 2 channel on YouTube, Mondays through Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern to join in the chat.
Hit the button.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Legend of Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basil. We are here. Oh, the box is a little tighter. With the lovely Sophia Myles. I'm here with Melanie Dean, the Bride of Wands, Mackenzie Floor, and also the Binge Watcher's Guide to Doctor Who, and the rathole.ca with Dave. Now, people that know, oh, hi there, Janine. Hugs, I feel like that too, and being a mom Doctor Who has really helped me out a lot out there, especially helping out. I know that people have been asking about this, and we just wanted to follow up. We have a special friend out in the UK. Her name, and I hope I get it right, is Mari. On the day of the attacks, she posted in the Facebook page of Doctor Who Infinity that she had to go, and a lot of people just wished her love and support to make sure that she stayed safe. And I hadn't heard for her for a while, and some good news. She got back to me just yesterday to let me know. Let me read you off what she sent.
She fled the Ukraine. The attacks had just started.
She just posted this. The night that everything happened, she says, "Good night. I'm from the Ukraine, and we are at war. We packed our bags and assembled a laptop and our favorite figures from Doctor Who. The cat was also evacuated if necessary. Pray for Ukraine, and thank you." And now she wrote back to me today. "I'm going to download the video on the YouTube about my trip. Thank you. Now my family is safe." By the way, that is her stuff that she packed on the way out. Can't leave.
She curated her very favorite toys.
Her very favorite toys. So Mari and her family and everybody in the Ukraine who is suffering through this, not only our Whovian fans, but everybody, please stay safe out there, whatever you need to do. And anybody who can give us any information on how we can help our friends in the Ukraine, just drop a line here in the chat down there. Janine follows Fab News. She's alive. Whoop. Okay, yeah, that's right. We're here with the lovely Sophia Myles, who played, there we are, the lovely Madame de Pompadour. I gotta ask, were you a Whovian before you got this role?
No. No, I mean...
All right, that's it. We're getting rid of her.
I am now, though.
That's okay. We can solve this too.
Yeah, we can just not.
Ta-da! See that's that problem. All right, bye.
No, I did it. It was on the television. It was on every television in England. And Sylvester McCoy was the Doctor that I first remember. I remember, but I didn't kind of get into it as a kid. And so for that reason, actually, when I was offered the job, I didn't actually understand quite how important this character was in the grand scheme of the story, and the fact that she's the only person in the world that knows exactly what goes on within the Doctor's mind. They're kind of almost like twin souls in a way. And I also didn't realize that it was like a big deal for anyone to have kissed him either. So in a way, though, I'm quite glad that I didn't know all of that, because I think it would have maybe I'd have put more pressure on myself. And by not having been a huge Whovian or knowing the history of the show, I was just able to come at that story in isolation. And I think one of the things that people seem to say about The Girl in the Fireplace is that even if you've never seen an episode of Doctor Who, as a standalone piece of television drama, it's just so succinctly beautiful. It's very it's so brilliantly written. I mean, Stephen Moffat is a genius.
Oh no, here they are. Melanie, are they all here, or is it just
there's quite a few of the doctors loitering here? So here's Ten saying
it's been 16 years.
They all had to come visit.
We have a group of doctors who show up every now and then. They come in droves, and they help with the chats out there. Sometimes all 16 now of them, I guess, out there been painting Melanie. Oh well, that's Melanie.
They started in.
They started in already in the fight.
Where do you live, 10th Doctor, now? Where are you?
Oh, good grief.
I miss you. You never came back.
Oh, you know what? I was like, one of the things that is the most painful thing that I can't watch, because I love it so much, is Pompadour. Yes. When they asked you back to come back and do that
for the lockdown.
For the lockdown audio. Yeah. And I was like, are you kidding me? And I was just like, I thought the episode, if anybody gets a chance, please, all you have to do is Doctor Who Pompadour Lockdown. Doctor Who Lockdown Pompadour. Yeah. It's on YouTube. It's only, I think, about 10 minutes. If your heart was broken after The Girl in the Fireplace, this thing is going to rip it even harder than it was before.
Do you know what? I recorded the audio like right in this room where I am now, and Stephen had emailed it over. and I read it once just to, make sure that there were words that I didn't understand some of the words or whatever. And then I just I did it on my iPhone, and I just pressed record, and I read it in one take, like the whole thing through.
Wow.
Oh my God. And that was it. But that was the same thing with that letter, at the end that she writes to him in the original episode.
Right.
I only looked at that. I literally I'd seen it in the script briefly, but I didn't actually fully understand it until I started reading it. And I found it, as me, like Sophia, so upsetting. There's that moment, I think you can hear a real kind of crack in my voice, but that was like my own personal genuine reaction to it. I was like, oh my God, this is so sad.
Yeah.
Dan Hollyfield from The Last Man Standing on his podcast, I'm quite fond of the short sequel to the episode where Sophia is the voice of the no, I don't. Spoiler. And
it's been some time.
Yeah, I know.
I'm good with the spoilers.
No, Sophia, I was at a convention one time and I was talking about Survival. Survival was the last episode of Doctor Who in the classic series. It was 1989. And a woman berated me because she was just catching up on Sylvester McCoy. It was like 20-something. I was just like, are you kidding me? What is this? It's a spoiler now for you? But I guess, it's hard with Doctor Who because people go back. Hi, Second Doctor, go back and do that again. Where did the acting bug come in? When did you finally say, you know what, this is my life now? How did, and it sounded like you got over a lot of hurdles.
So I was 15, and I went to an all-girls school, and I was very, very badly bullied at school. I think partly because it was difficult because I didn't have any sense of self-esteem at the time, and that's due to issues that I talk with my therapist about. But but I had no, I was very bright. I was very academic. So I was like a kind of high achiever, but also, and again, I didn't realize it at the time at all, but I guess some of the girls may have been jealous because of the way I looked or whatever. And I was the person that had no one to sit with at lunch. And then I was doing drama as a subject, and part of the exam at the end of the year was that we had to put on a play. And within this particular play, there was a character that I ended up playing who was basically almost identical to these girls that were giving me grief, And so it was a sort of a great opportunity for me to kind of, I know I'm not allowed to swear, but getting up on that stage and pretending to be them and right to their face, I definitely felt like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then while I was doing the play, Julian Fellows, who's the lovely gentleman who writes Downton Abbey, and he won an Oscar for his writing of the movie Gosford Park.
Right.
He spotted me in the play, asked me to come on audition for a period drama that he'd written for the BBC. And I got the job. And for me, the bug came, I never had a desire to be on television or be famous or even in the movies, but what made me fall in love with it is that for the first time, I felt like I'd found my tribe, and I felt, on a film set in an environment where I was welcomed and I felt like part of something, and I wasn't the outsider for the first time. So it was really that kind of hooked me, because, I'd been sort of starving of connection with people because I'd always been kind of booted out, of groups and stuff. So yeah, but then I did take much delight, with these girls that bullied me at school. When I was about 19, I got offered a role to play Johnny Depp's wife in the movie From Hell. And I remember at the moment that I was kissing him thinking, I hope you're watching now.
I remember.
So there's quite a few questions in the chat. So I'll start with Mark Robinson's, and it says, Sophia, your dad was a minister preacher. Did you move around the UK a lot because accents mainly sound like Surrey? I lost my breath. Sound like Surrey, London, but certain words, our accent changes.
So we did move around, not that much. My dad was posted at one parish until I was about 10, 11, and then we moved. So it was really only two or three places that we lived. But it's funny because I often feel like the film industry kind of doesn't quite get me, like in the sense that I've often been cast like with roles like Lady Penelope or Madame de Pompadour. You know, they're all these very sort of well-spoken, posh women. And the reason that I learned to speak well was that where my family first lived, so you have to understand, like a vicar's or a minister's salary in the UK was nothing. Like my dad was making like £11,000 a year, but they give you the house. So we really weren't wealthy, like by any stretch. But the first place that we lived, the church was in this incredibly affluent area of London, probably like the most affluent, where everybody spoke like that. You know, it was like completely okay. Oh, how fabulous. You know, like spoke like the Queen. And so I sort of, because I lived there, like it was the accent that I was hearing. So I guess I learned to kind of speak properly. But I'm not really posh at all. But people seem to make the assumption that I'm like a bit posh, and I'm really not. I'm common as muck.
Janine Giobella asks, how uncomfortable or comfortable was that dress to act in? I'm assuming the Pompadour dress.
It was super heavy, really heavy. I think it weighed about like 10 to 15 pounds. Like it was very, very, very weighty. But I've done a lot of work in corsets. Like, in fact, I was kind of always working in a corset until I was about 25. I was just never in like normal clothes. So I'm quite used to that. But yeah, it was heavy. It was very heavy.
If you want to hit some more chats, Melanie, go for it.
Yep.
I was just going to run two
more
commercials real fast.
More of a comment. I guess that both Sylvester and Sophia will be
Sylvester going on that. Yeah, we're going on the cruise.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, there's a Doctor Who cruise. That's on one thing. I'm going, wait, what? And you're going on it?
Yeah.
Is it your first? Is it your first Who cruise or?
Yeah, it is. But you know, I had such a lovely time at Gallifrey, and I just fell in love with like the Whovian audience. Like it was like, I mean, I hadn't met any of them before, and it just felt like I was in a room full of friends. Like I don't know, we just connected instantly, and like with you guys, you know, like when you have that show in common, it's kind of like breaks through. I don't know. It's like a shortcut to just, you know, authenticity and honesty. And
it's a conversation piece. It's a thing on the table that everybody admires. And when that brings out the conversation, when you finally have that connection, it feels real good. For some people, it's like, oh my God, it's Madame de Pompadour. I don't want to. What's she going to say about me? And she goes, trust me, talk to her. She's cool.
No, and it was also lovely to witness, like to understand that, again, going back to what I was saying earlier about, you know, quite a lot of Doctor Who fans have in common is the fact that, you know, out in the real world, they often feel like they don't belong properly, or there's, you know, they're outsiders or outcasts or what have you, or very shy. You get a lot of Doctor Who fans that are very shy, but when they come together at these conventions, you know, it's like the bonds and the friendships that they make with people there, and it's just so lovely. It's such a joy to behold because people were just genuinely having such a lovely time, you know. And so when I was kind of approached about whether I wanted to go on this cruise or not, I was like, yeah, you know, I'd love to. So that's quite exciting. There was one, I think there is one happening in April, but I was a bit too late to get a place on that boat. But yeah, next year. Yeah.
Speaking of which, we'll
probably better next year anyway.
Let me go ahead and run these commercials. We just so we can keep the lights on the building, and please continue our chats. When we return, we're going to be talking about Sophia, more of her career, and I'm only trying to find that button again. On the button. We're professional. Trust me on this. When we return, we're going to talk more Sophia.
We are a touring acoustic duo crashing kitchens around the country. We go from house to house every Friday night, and we create music, we create food, a good time, we stream it live, and we do it for free. So now we're just really kind of like trying to develop it and build a community group that people believe in, then they'll help us. So we played from our rehearsal room. We played from the bathroom. Thankfully, that didn't catch on.
I probably played guitar in my room, not for anyone, in front of anyone, nobody heard, for probably about 10 years.
And then one Friday night, we played from the kitchen. It's the main place people want to be. It's where the food is, it's where the drink is, it's where the best lighting is. You can go to any party and I guarantee you, the kitchen is going to be popping.
Our ultimate goal, I think, would be to crash kitchens every Friday all around the world.
Author Cindy Koepp is writing on the edge. Books include Remnant in the Stars, The Loudest Actions, Lines of Succession, Mindstorm, Condemned Courier, the Yerushalayim series, and Animal Eye. Find author Cindy Koepp at CKOEPP.com today.
Meet the Doctor.
I'm the Doctor.
But not the one you were expecting.
All right, sexy. It's time to go home.
Doctor Who Velocity. Streaming now.
And for those of you just joining us, welcome back to The Legend of the Traveling
I was almost asleep.
We had another commercial for eating a cookie. It's good. It's a half-pound cookie, and it's s'mores flavored. It's s'mores. I thought we had another.
Oh,
I've had so much fun editing this down to a bits episode. Oh my!
I'm so sorry.
My name is Christian Basil. That's Sophia Myles. Melanie's really hungry.
It's delicious. It's graham
This is
cracker and
Melina, by the
chocolate.
way.
And...
Melina, we just go
Nice.
Melina, thank you for joining us. There's Mackenzie Floor and Dave from TheRoute.ca. I know we got a ton of questions, but Melina, I know you just joined up. Did you have a question for Sophia while we got you on here?
Oh, hi. My name is Melina. I'm a big admirer from all the way from Puerto Rico. So hi.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I do have a question. One of the things that I love about the episode where you're in, it's one of my favorite romantic stories. That's what Russell T. Davies was aiming for, the girl in the fireplace. And the purpose was for a Time Lord to fall in love with this mysterious girl. And having Rose witness that, like seeing the Time Lord fall in love. So I want to ask you something, your opinion, because this is something that's a little bit controversial.
Okay, go on.
Do you think that a Time Lord should fall in love? Should there be
left it controversial?
And I'm gonna just go get more popcorn.
Do I think that a Time Lord should fall in love?
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone should fall in love.
Oh, I love that.
Like, love's what makes the world go round.
There you go.
I don't think Time Lords should be exempt just because.
We had an episode about Doctor Who because when you were mentioning about earlier, you snogged the Doctor. I grew up when you were mentioning when we start growing up, and I grew up in the 70s with Tom Baker, and that was just something that we just didn't hear about. And then Paul McGann had his episode, got kissed, and next thing you know, the Doctor's just snogging everybody left and right out there. So I think that was the question, but I don't see why not there. Philip says, you did a great American accent in Decrypted. Did you consider having a French accent as Madame de Pompadour? And thank you for bringing that up.
That's a very good question.
There we are.
There's Decrypted. Thank you, Philip. Yeah, that's a great question, actually. Well, I did obviously flag that up to the writers and the producers and said, look, do I need to do this with a French accent? And they kind of made an executive decision to say no, just to keep it as your own. But also, what we did do, I don't think it's ever been spoken about actually, like in any kind of behind the scenes footage, but they did try and test like various forms of aging makeup on me, because at one point they thought that I'd come back and have like a kind of gray powdered wig and they were possibly going to try and make me age. But that got shelved, and they didn't in the end.
That would have been interesting, so that way there was more of a key for the audience to realize that how much of that there's a time skip kind of going on. But I can see where just the fact that it was already kind of really well written and played within the episode, that each time the Doctor was coming back and forth, that you were progressing. I can see why.
Yeah.
Oh God! Now I've got images of that dog from Futurama. She's just aging out in front of the pizza place out there. And we also want to tell everybody Happy International Women's Day. We're just funneling right through the pictures of women who have taken a picture of the TARDIS and some of our favorites.
How am I going to get a picture with that TARDIS?
You come over here.
I think Florida. You're in Florida, right?
I'm in Florida. Yes.
Florida. Yeah.
Well, I think that Doctor Who cruise, I think potentially it starts in Orlando, so maybe you can meet me like outside the ship, like before I get on, and we can I can hold the TARDIS.
That'd be awesome.
Make a day.
That's true. That's not too far if it's coming out of Cape Canaveral, Christian.
No, it's not too far at all.
Otherwise, I'm gonna drive.
Another great place besides Florida is going to the Doctor Who Museum in Indiana. Have you
Doctor Who Museum?
Who North America?
Who North America?
Yeah, Who North America. And they have it's actually a store, but it also is a museum too. It is fantastic. That's really cool to check out.
I'll send you a link.
Obviously, like thank you. In England, everybody knows about Doctor Who, but within the US, is it kind of contained to like a cult-like following, or if you ask your average, if you ask, for example, 1 in 10 Americans, do they know what Doctor Who is? Would they say yes or no?
Now, I think they would probably say yes.
When I grew up, Doctor Who, we got our butts kicked. And I know Trekkies got their butts kicked. I mean, back during the time around the 80s, 70s and 80s, the sci-fi genre was not popular.
That wasn't cool.
It wasn't cool. It was like G.I. Joe and all those things. Marvel, DC, those were the cool things. And I do have a story where I told somebody I did dress up as Doctor Who for one Halloween at school, and I just got poked fun at. And and I put the costume away, and it never saw the light of day again.
No.
But years later. But the good news is, when I go to these conventions, it's also awesome, Sophia, because you've probably seen it. These kids now get to do something that I didn't do.
Yeah.
They get to appreciate something that I grew up with. So I kind of see that my childhood gets a redemption in the future generations, where they're wearing fezzes, they've got sneakers on, with pinstripe suits, and I'm going like,
there was a little girl that was only about 6 at Gallifrey, dressed up as Jodie Whittaker. She was so sweet.
Yeah,
so sweet.
Little girl, I think this little girl who, if I'm not mistaken. I know what you mean, where you're talking about, Christian, and Miss Myles, that you mentioned that you felt a little bit outcasted.
Oh, please don't call me Miss Myles. That's just, I'm Sophia. I'm Sophia.
Miss Jackson, if you're nasty.
First off, by the way, you're welcome to come over here. We're in my country, in Puerto Rico, where there's a lot of Whovians here. In fact, I started watching Doctor Who because of my professor. I majored in TV and films production, and I did a little bit of writing and a little bit of journalism as well. And my professor, he was a huge fan, or he is still a huge fan of Doctor Who. And our homework, believe it or not, was watching Doctor Who. But this was in 2010.
Okay.
So
where did you start? So where did you start watching the series? Did you start right at the beginning, or did you come into it like David Tennant, Chris Eccleston, like where?
Right at the beginning, because one of my friends who we did short films together, he I think he had a DVD collection, and so I started watching with Christopher Eccleston. So he was my first Doctor, and then after that, that's when I kept up. And this is 2010. I was like 21 years old. I was just starting doing the short films and TV, what do you call that, practices, going to the local stations here.
Yeah.
So that was our homework. His name is Alfredo Riva. That was my professor.
Oh wow.
That was our homework, and there is a lot of Puerto Rican Whovians in here, and there's a little group here as well. And the funny thing is that we learned, basically, like myself, I learned how do you say, universal English.
Yeah.
It was interesting to learn the other kind of, if I dare to say, English, right? Because certain words that they're not, at least it's not common for me. I'm sure a lot of Americans, but it's coming from me in this country.
Yeah.
But I think it's wonderful, and it's wonderful for us, as in when we were filming, and especially to share this with my professor. So and back in the day, like Christian was mentioning, and yourself, that to feel that kind of like that outcast, like you're being bullied, you sat alone. Let me tell you something. I would have sat with you.
Oh.
I would have sat next to you. I really would, because I know that feeling. But it's so nice that today we could share.
The cosplay craziness. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Wow. It's okay.
But yeah, there you go. The cosplay craziness.
But it's nice that we're all together, like right now, and we can find a common love or passion or obsession, whatever you want to call it. And it's a great feeling. It really is.
Yeah. It's very comforting. It's just very kind of soothing and calming. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mean to throw it in. It automatically kind of did a thing.
No,
but
that's fine.
I just wanted to show Sophia that at least there's cosplayers here in Florida that have done the cosplay of specifically Madame de Pompadour.
Amazing. Yeah. Incredible. There were a couple of women at Gallifrey with, I mean, incredible costumes, just so accurate. And I mean, the amount of they made them by hand, and the amount of work that went into them was just astonishing.
And this one is Cosplay Craziness over on Instagram.
We got a commercial break. When we return, and I got a little special surprise for you, Sophia.
Okay.
Found out something about you. We're going to hit the commercial breaks, and we're going to run through the chats real fast. Get as many chats as we can get in there. Please continue to stay logged on, tuned in, and become part of the legend. Where is that?
The massive audio Doctor Who Bad Wolf Bluetooth TARDIS speaker. That's all I got to say. One word. Wow. It looks like it just jumped right off the screen. Here it is in all its Bad Wolf glory. Right here is the on-off switch and the up and down volume. Right here's the speaker. The TARDIS stands about 6 inches from the bottom of the TARDIS all the way up to the top where the light is. Look at the detail. Wow.
I don't think they have a Madame de Pompadour card yet, do they? Does Mort have one?
I don't know.
I don't know. I guess we're going to find out on the
old ones.
What?
No, I'm just running through old ones.
Okay. Got it there.
Why do you have a candle up to your head?
Well, I'm going to explain, and I know it's early for Sophia. I know it's 10 days away. And I didn't have time to get a cake. So everybody in the chats, everybody sing with me. You know what I'm going to be singing. Everybody, you ready for this? Happy birthday to you.
Nobody else is singing. Wow. That's
way more fun not to.
You guys don't know the lines here, really?
I was going to say me and Melina could go in Spanish.
I can go Spanish.
Feliz cumpleaños. That's so sweet, guys.
Birthday to you.
Happy
birthday to you.
Happy
birthday
birthday,
to Sophia. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, you've got the voices of angels.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Weeping angels.
Yeah, exactly. Weeping angels.
I'm not done yet.
So, Sophia, because I couldn't get real candles, go ahead and blow out the candle virtually. Just there we go.
Thank you. Guys, I'm really sorry, but I'm gonna have to go
That's
quite
fine.
soon because it's midnight here and Luke gets up at about 6 o'clock in the morning. So I'm gonna have to leave you, but thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed it. I want to talk more. Can I come on again?
Absolutely. Anytime.
Yeah. Well, let's
Yes,
do
please.
let's treat this as part 1 and then I'll come on again. Yeah.
Yes,
Then we
please.
can talk
Just
about
contact
this.
me. Yeah, we can
Absolutely.
talk about loads of other stuff as well. We'll
But
talk
yes,
about loads of other stuff. But
but-
yeah, seriously, if you're interested, like just contact me and I'll come again.
Absolutely. Everybody
Yeah.
in the chats right now, wish Sophia a happy birthday. I know it's
Oh,
10
they are.
days early, but
Yeah.
go
Oh,
ahead,
they
post
are.
it in the chat. Go nuts. Go nuts.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Miss-
Sophia.
All right,
Please stay
loads
safe.
of love. Be in touch, yeah, and I'll come back
Yes.
again.
Absolutely.
You got it.
Okay.
Go to bed.
Take it
Follow
easy,
her on
guys.
Twitter.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Follow Sophia on Twitter because she'll follow you back. One of the very few people that I know that will actually do that in your behavior, in favor for what you're doing. Gosh, I can't even talk.
I apologize to everybody. I was trying to get
That's
comments,
fine.
but I was trying to
We
find that
were-
photo of cosplay craziness. So
And it looks like Sophia is coming back. And everybody in the chats right now, help the algorithm. Go ahead and just wish Sophia a happy birthday wherever you're at. If you're on the Facebook page, YouTube,
she'll see
definitely
it.
on the YouTube channel.
I'll send
Jeremy,
you screenshots.
And if you
Gotcha.
haven't liked yet or hit the subscribe button, please do
please
that.
do so.
That brings up more attention for this stream, especially for those who have never don't know who we are.
So let's
Yeah, I
just
know.
see if we
Typically we don't do this, but because she was up and up and down, I wanted to make sure that everyone could see her a lot.
No, that's
a lot
fine.
better.
I gotta say, I gotta give a super shout out to Kevo for this because if I just love how David Turner is just kind of popping through at the bottom there.
If you need
Yeah.
a
And that's just-
thumbnail, that he just knocks him out within like, I'll say, Kevo, we're having Sophia Myles, and she goes, what do you want? I'm like, just what do you think? And then he just pops out like within hours. He's just like boom, 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 boom. Yeah, there you are, Kevo. So if anybody wants a thumbnail done by Kevo Risse, you can reach out to me, or you can go check out his podcast, Husbands Talking More or Less. You can find out more information
Quality
about him.
X-Men content.
Exactly.
I'll tell you that right now.
So,
And just a
Kevo-
quick side note: the fact that I found out that she is enamored with Flight of the Navigator. Oh my god!
it just went up on. Just
Oh,
leveled up.
that! If I can steal the spaceship from Disney Orlando and Disney World and give it to her, like, look, it's here.
For our friends on the audio, we are wrapping up the episode. We're going to continue for another 30 minutes and discuss what just happened because we just had Pompadour on our show.
I ate a
I'm
cookie.
sure you're still geeking out there, but we want to thank everybody for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at the bottom. Kevo, make fun of her all you want, but this is why Melanie gets sent candy care packages. She's
Mark!
great advertising. Kevo,
Going through this.
Kevo, I'm just going to say this. Be prepared because she may not be the only one that gets candy. That's all I'm saying right now.
Yeah, exactly. You sure?
That's all I'm saying. It's a spoiler alert. So, what do you got?
So in
there,
other
bro?
words, we all this is why I make sure I get at least try to get Mark's comments up here because he's properly bribed me. But unfortunately, I couldn't get this one, which I really wanted to do next.
Come to
because
MegaCon.
Sophia was come to MegaCon.
Yeah, I am. Oh wait, that's not for me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we'll be there.
I'll pass it on. How about that? I'll pass it on to her.
So for all of you folks on the audio, thank you for listening to us. Don't forget to subscribe. Let me go ahead and pull up that banner. If you like listening to our stuff, you can find. Oh, sorry. Listen to us on iHeartRadio, sci-fi.radio. You can download the app for free and listen to us when we're scheduled. It's usually on Fridays or Saturdays. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, CBSRadio.com, Spreaker, and Player FM. Wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts are brought to you by the Hang It With Web show. thank you for joining us. We will continue on our after party for another half hour if you want to stick with us and just continue to geek out what just happened. Just there we had Madame de Pompadour. But our friends on the audio, thank you for joining us again. Please continue to stay safe out there. Our friends in the UK, all of you, stay safe out there as we continue to become part of the legend. We want to thank you for joining us. And don't forget to subscribe. Have a great night, folks. And here comes the after party.
Dave, is it dark out there yet? Is it Vegas dark? No!
Wow.
It is not. Well, unfortunately, James, the question can't go to Sophia, but we can all give our take of when he encourages her to pick a star, any star, and that's the 10th Doctor. Where do you think 10 would have taken Madame de Pompadour first?
I think she would have taken her to the future.
Future? Thinking future first?
I think in future. I don't have a specific date, but I think he would have taken her to the future. That's my take. Nobody else jump in. That's fine.
Well, how far in the future? Like our future or her future?
Well, that's a good
So I'm
point.
definitely thinking past her future.
I think he would probably want to take her to where that ship was. That there was more to that ship than meets the eye. I mean, she only got to see the inside of the ship. She didn't get to see space, and she didn't get to see the future around it. And you know, where did the ship come from, and all that. I think he would have probably, you know, he would have been the possible girl to her. 10th Doctor to 2044. Trust me, I'm
So sure the hell won't
well,
be
because he
20.
said it. That's fine there. Again, for those folks joining us, thank you for sticking with us. We're going to be here for another half hour. If you just want to geek out, chat, you have any questions for us. I was hoping that Sophia could stay for another half hour, but it's midnight where she's at, so I can totally understand. She's got to take care of. Melanie theme song. Nice.
Me and David are on the same beat. We know what we're doing here because we're just like.
For our friends that are watching, I forgot to do this, but the traveling. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Show us the candy.
I was just still have all the candy.
Oh, okay.
I still have so much.
Legend of the Traveling TARDIS picture of the day. This one is the most popular of the pictures that are out there today, and let me go ahead and grab it. This one.
Oh.
Everybody loves that one. Everybody just goes completely. Everybody's like, "Are they doing a cross?" There, but people have asking me if they did a crossover. I'm like, "No, they haven't done a crossover. I just put that together. I just knocked that out in 10 minutes." I saw those two pictures. I remember when I saw the picture of those two. I think they're trapped in an elevator. I think. And I said, "Oh my God, we got to put." Yeah, exactly.
It is you, 11.
You, Moldor, and Scully. So big picture out there. Where did Dave go?
I wanted to grab something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I don't think the person who's getting this is going to be watching. So I will pull this up. A giant 1 kilogram thing of good proper Smarties.
And I have to admit, I'm not a fan of M&Ms, but those. I gotta learn how to. Now I'm like Christian. I'm pointing the wrong way.
Mike and Ike. Mike and
Mike and Ike's are amazing.
Our favorite. Like I could like get all the box, the entire box, and I can chew like I look like a chipmunk or like a squirrel because I start chewing and I'm playing Fortnite. Yes, I said Fortnite. I call it.
I was gonna say I mean, it is what it is.
I was playing Fortnite with my friends, and I'm like, it's like, yeah, what? It's like,
I don't know what you're saying, but there's chocolate and nuts that spit on my face.
So here's a question, Melina. How Puerto Rico Spanish? How is Puerto Rico Spanish different from Andalusian Spanish? I was there for 5 years in Nerja. Nerja?
Yeah.
Well, I know Spain Spanish is different, but
well, all Spanish-speaking countries different in a way of accents, in some in culture-ish, and some in even words. They're different word meanings. I think I told this to Mackenzie.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should say it in air. Like, should I say it? Should I? There's a particular word. In all the Spanish-speaking countries, it means insect.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
in my country, it means something else. It's a vulgar-ish word. So I don't think I should say it here. But what I'm trying to say is that there are certain ways that we express ourselves. There's some differences in our culture. However, for example, I study a little bit of journalism, so we have to learn what was called the universal Spanish, because and they train us to have our accent very neutralized. You know that Puerto Ricans have a certain accent, Colombians have accents as well, Mexicans have their accents, and when we go to like Univision, which is like a more international Spanish speaking news, the your accent doesn't matter where you're from, it has to be neutral, and they have to train you for that. And I took classes for that, and they teach you the international or universal Spanish, not the Spanish slang that we learned, or the words that we use. For example, we say closet, armario, which is pretty much where all the Spanish speaking countries says armario, we say closet. So, well, we have to say armario. That's like the more in universal kind of Spanish. So,
Right.
yeah. So
I remember eons ago when I used to do lots of like little different types of acting kind of callback stuff like that. When they were looking for people who were bilingual or just Spanish speaking in Miami, they were very specific where they wanted like Ecuadorian Spanish or anything, because it was that, right?
Neutral.
Okay.
It's
That's
neutral.
what that is. Okay.
The Puerto Rican accent, we have our own little accent, and then we have this little, how do I say, the R, la R, la R. Some of us pronounce it with the like carro, which is car. Some of us say cajo.
Oh, you're moving the tongue up and back.
Yes, because there's the I don't do it. A lot of my family members do it. My aunt does it, like arroz, which is rice. When it's double R, it's arroz. But my aunt says ajo. Ajo. It's this kind of, and you can't go on television, especially if you're a news reporter. So like cajo. You can't express it that way. So you have to. You have to be as neutral as possible with your accent, because we have a very heavy accent when it comes to the way we speak in Puerto Rico. So.
Is there
the Cockney of Spanish?
Pretty much. Yeah, you're correct. Yeah, it's exactly like that.
I'm just curious. I wasn't sure, but I know in the realm of geekdom. Let me give an example. Let's say here, we have something called hall mats. Hall mats is holiday matsuri, and the thing is with hall mats, it's basically more of an anime, but anybody can participate in the hall mats. It could be Trekkies, everybody. The twist of that is it's Christmas related, so you'll have the Fourth Doctor maybe in a Christmas scarf, or what? Christine, sweet tarts are my favorite candy, but not easy to find anyone. There you go. They have a holiday twist, so like your favorite character will have like something that is Christmas related attached to it. Is there something that is unique in the geekdom in Puerto Rico that they do that they don't normally do anywhere else?
In the geek wise,
I didn't know if they did anything different, or is it just the same across the board?
If it's
like at conventions,
yeah. Well, they have the Puerto Rico Con, right?
We have the Puerto Rico Comic Con.
Right.
For example, this year, I keep forgetting his name. The actor who plays Miguel in Cobra Kai is going to be here.
Okay.
But we have that, and there's another convention that is like pure cosplay and anime. I forgot what it's called. I about like Whovians. I know there's a group of Whovians, but nothing like some like how do I say, like a group meeting, like another convention. But
like a meetup.
Exactly. But I know there's an anime one, which is, and it's all pure cosplay, and it's a competition as well of cosplay, which is, it's fun. It's pretty fun. You've seen it's too many Naruto cosplays. My God, too many Narutos. But that's never good because
That's not unique. That's not unique to Puerto Rico. No.
No, right now it's like Death Note is crazy. No, I lied. Death Note was crazy. Now it's Dragon Slayer, and yeah, I'm beginning. I have not watched any of these animes, but Lord, I'm learning a lot of them just based on the cosplayers because I see them constantly.
Yeah.
Magnificent 7-7. You put 7 next to 7-7, so I'm calling you 77. Would you be willing to come to Dragon Con in Atlanta? Are you inviting us? Because the answer is yes.
Magnificent 7. Yes. The answer is yes. Can we afford to come to Dragon Con?
Did some of us apply for Dragon Con and are hoping?
I was this close, so close on going, because it's like, I think it's how many hours? 3 hours from here to Atlanta.
Yeah, a 3-hour flight. Yeah.
3-hour
I don't know. It should be. I would say no more than 2.
Right? I don't think. Yeah.
Puerto Rico from when to San Juan.
San Juan. Yeah.
San Juan to Atlanta. I don't know.
I think it's about 2, maybe 3 hours.
I would say maybe 2.5 ish, because Tampa to Miami is like 45 minutes, and then Tampa to Atlanta is maybe an hour. I mean, by the time you go up, you like, oh, can I have my drink? Sure, now drink it because we're going back. We're landing. So I don't think it would be any more than an hour and a half.
I was so close many times because I know a friend who lives in Atlanta, and she goes pretty much every year. And her boyfriend has like special access pass, whatever. And she said, you could stay with me. And I was so close and going so close, but it's just my job. It's the stupid tourism. This tourists don't let me don't let me have a vacation on my own.
Andalusian Southern Mainland Spanish is very, very fast farmer accent.
I have an update.
Could be close.
I have an exciting update. If you want to go ahead and read the chat, but I'm going to go ahead and bring it online because it just got declared a little more than an hour ago. So, everybody, the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS will be at Space Coast Comic-Con. They just put it up a little over an hour ago. So we are
Space
in.
Coast Comic-Con.
It is a one-day event because they're still trying to get back on their feet.
Yeah.
Space Coast Comic-Con returns this special one-day show June 12th. And there's the announcement right there. So we are now going...
12th?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm like, June 12th. Okay.
It's in the middle of nowhere. I think they did that on purpose.
Oh, that's a hotel room for me.
So we are, and they have moved hotels. So it's not at the original hotel that
it's not.
No, and it's been moved. I'm trying to get that more information so people can do that. But want to thank Jake Estrada and all the team over at Space Coast Comic-Con. We are now going to be there June 12th. We are going to be representing the Whovians on the Space Coast out there. And I'm sorry, I'm trying. We just got
it's on the Space Coast.
It's on the Space Coast. Think Cocoa Beach. So if you're going to Orlando, if you're
Cocoa
not
Beach,
familiar
Melbourne.
with, yeah, like Cocoa Beach, Cape Canaveral, Daytona-ish. I'm
a little south of Daytona.
A little south. I'm kind of thinking more for if you are not familiar with Florida, but you know enough about, you know where Disney is. Disney's in the middle of the state where Orlando, kind of to the right. I-4 kind of connects Orlando to Daytona. Goes across from Tampa all the way out to Daytona. If you took I-4, let's say you went to Disney, you headed east.
There's the cat. Oh, now he shows.
South. That's Space Coast.
There. Now the cat shows up.
There's the kitty.
So
that's Space Coast. So
this is it's Melbourne, Palm Bay. Yeah, that's right, Christina. It's Melbourne, Palm Bay. It's in that area. think,
a
yeah,
little north,
it's
isn't
going
it?
to be in that area.
Wait, is it in the same area? I wonder if George Lowe
It's not at the same hotel that they used to be in. I know they moved
Sometimes.
that. I'm looking
Fun
for
fact: George Lowe does tend to go to the Florida cons. Space Coast does go sometimes to Space Coast. I don't know if he's been to Space Coast.
So
I think he has. Hasn't George Lowe been to
I
Space
know
Coast?
he was recently in Orlando.
He's over here in Tampa.
In fact,
area.
I will keep talking.
Yes.
I'm going to pull up something.
George Lowe is probably Space Coast.
Space Coast, yeah.
Drumlum, if you've watched Aqua Teen Hunger
Force. Yes.
Aqua Teens. Oh, I missed that show. I was so
Yeah,
on that show.
Adult Swim was my.
Was it? Atlanta to London is más o menos 12 hours. See, I'm practicing my Spanish here because of Melina.
Muy bien.
Yay! All my piss poor Spanish. So bad. And I've done that twice to take my wife to visit her family. Okay, that's 12 hours a straight shot because I'm really. I'm sorry, because I flew Tampa to London a few times direct, and that was 8 and 9 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Did Norwegian just fly faster? Did we just get up there and be like, wee?
They are excited to get out of Tampa.
They were like, we're get out of here.
Yep. Out of there like lightning.
Like lightning. Well, I mean, I know 1 hour, because I know it was 8 hours one way, 9 hours the other, because you're hitting the jet stream. It's kind of helping
this
push
is
you out there.
This is for Tom.
Space Coast, coast to coast.
And he insisted I made sure that banner was in there.
Of course.
I love the intro of that show, like like I used to watch. Do you guys remember Cartoon Planet?
Yes.
With Sorak and Brack.
Yes, Brack.
I had to find the CD if I can find it. I have the CD of the soundtrack. My parents got me that.
Our pleasure, magnificent. Our pleasure, magnificent. Thank you for being a part of it.
My parents got me that, and we used to play like I don't know, like a random Sunday, like a get together if my mom is cooking or if they're cleaning, and yeah, it's great. It's called Barbecue something. I don't know. It's a CD. I have to find it and show it.
Okay, George. Funky Ghost, yeah. Oh, and George can really, he can weave up a story.
He can spin a yarn.
I know. It's just
amazing.
How was your day? All you have to do is go, George, how's your day
Let
been?
him go.
And then you got 1 hour of a story that, goes into your ear, whether you like it or not. It's a good story, though. It is a good story. It's just like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. I was just saying hi. But yeah, George Lowe is going to be. Are there any Who stories you wish they do that would be in Puerto Rico centric?
Yes.
People from history, local legends. Yeah, that's a good question.
Yes, I am. No joke, but one of the things that I'm not gonna die from it, but one of the things I wish and I hope that the Doctor Who universe would do is explore more of do more of the Latino culture. And I would love to, well, not because it's my country, but to go in Puerto Rico, historical events like El Morro.
That's true, because I think he only went to, didn't they go to Rio de Janeiro at one point? But that was it. It was just to hop that this is where we were, and then that was it.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm looking. But no, I agree with you.
Go look. But for people from history, yes, I would love Julia de Burgos, who is a poet, I believe. Let's see, would love to visit maybe the University of Puerto Rico, which has a lot of history behind it. Los bomberos, the Parque de Bomberos que is in Ponce. It has a lot of history, or like a Yunque, like the rainforest. I don't know, something along those lines. But I wish that they would touch more stories and meet more people that are from the Latino culture. I think that'd be great. That'd be great.
I say, who is that? Who is that? Is that Who was doing the feedback?
Oh, that was you who muted the mics? I was like, wait a minute, the host muted the mic. I'm like,
It wasn't me. I think it was
anything. It was me. I didn't touch
it was
anything.
Dave.
By the way, Mackenzie, I put my cat
Yeah, no, it was totally me.
out
Yeah, I was like,
before getting in. My poor cat
Thank you,
was
Donna.
here. Pluto was here, and I felt so bad because he was sleeping so comfortably, but I know that he's gonna misbehave. So I said, no, I'm sorry, you're going outside. Why? Because he looked at me like that. He's like, no puedes entrar, no puedes estar aquí because you're gonna misbehave like the last time.
Yeah, Squeakers doesn't normally come up on the desk.
Amazing.
He did and knocked 3 of my items off my desk. So yeah. And I did whisper to Funko while somebody was talking. You quit knocking everything off my desk.
The doctor visiting the reopening of the.
Yes, please. The reopening. It collapsed. It collapsed. El telescopio de Arecibo.
It's gonna be the best.
And
because didn't one of the hurricanes snap one of the cables first, or it was old, and then because
it was old, it's lack of
lack
of maintenance. Also,
yeah, I'm gonna take a photo. I'm gonna bring it up so people can actually see what the heck we're talking about.
Yeah, bring it up. It's
oh my God.
It's historical.
While Melanie's doing
would be
that,
cool.
if you haven't had a chance yet, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. 20 of you jumped in. Thank you. And getting us closer to our goal. May 19th, the Traveling TARDIS turns 10 years old, 10 years of traveling, this little hunk of metal. And the Facebook page, we're closing in. We would love it on May 19th, if not sooner, to get our Facebook page to 60,000 followers when we're really close. We're at 58.1. And we are getting very close, all to you guys, all thanks to you there. And we want to get to 2,000 YouTube subscribers for May 19th. That would be an awesome birthday party for the Traveling TARDIS out there. Plus, we just had Madame de Pompadour on the show.
Yeah.
So I'm getting.
Love it. Oh, wow. Oh, I did see something. They have a YouTube
There's a way I
video.
can get that to be bigger.
I didn't even know about this.
Yeah, I'm getting depressed looking at it. It was horrible.
Sorry.
No, don't be. No. It was horrible. It was horrible to see that. It's like, I don't know. I think it's our pride. Sometimes it gets hurt like that when we see something like that. Oh man.
There you go. That's the sadness. So there's your before, and I know one of the stanchions, or no, the cables had broken on it, and that was just because of poor. I think that was because it was poor maintenance.
And
then the hurricane came through. Was it Maria?
Sorry.
There was 2 hurricanes. There was Irma and there was Maria.
Ah, okay.
We had 2.
Then that didn't help.
No, Maria didn't help. It was. We had Irma, and like a week or a few days later, we had Maria hit us. And so just when, at least my neighborhood, just where few people, okay, of the island were getting electricity back, that's when Maria hit. And so people who had electricity since Irma didn't get electricity until like Irma was in I think a week before the 19th September. That's when Maria hit. So imagine all that time till around December without electricity. Nothing, nada. And so when Maria hit, it was very. I mean, Puerto Rico is known for its green. It's an island, and you see it's really green because of the mountains and the hills, and you have the rainforest, which is the yunque, and it was nothing. It looked brown because the dirt, you know what I mean. It was very heartbreaking, and I don't know why, but I feel like I'm tearing myself up a little bit. But see all that green that you see around there. So imagine after the hurricane, imagine all of that without that green. and just brown, just dirt.
Wow.
Just dirt. It was very. I mean, people were going outside, and we were crying, like literally crying. It was too much for us to bear because Puerto Rico is known for its green, for its nature, the flowers and the leaves. There's a specific flower that we have here. It's beautiful. It smells beautiful. There was nothing at all. So,
Dan says, yeah, the video of the last collapse, because I saw it and I didn't want to click on it because it would probably be an issue with my StreamYard. The video of the last collapse of the center sensor was heartbreaking, mostly age and lack of funds for maintenance.
Yes, that's the problem. And
But
it's always the problem. The lack of
for it.
I told this to Mackenzie. We talked. I told a lot of Mackenzie. It was like
Dan drilling.
hours talking. But we had lack of maintenance. Years ago, where we had a blackout. The whole island, there was no power out. And then when they were on the radio, of course, because there's no TV, no power, said, we concluded there was lack of maintenance. So we don't know when it's gonna go back, but there was supposed to be it was a lack of maintenance, and then it collapsed completely and everything. Dark.
It would be interesting though, since it is Doctor Who, that they could actually go back when maybe it was first, do a timey-wimey thing of them seeing it being first built, or to kind of show people this amazing telescope and have the Doctor kind of showing the companion of, oh, this is being built, this is what's going to happen, it's going to it's going to revolutionize knowing this about and kind of talk about it's the parts of the science, and then
some baddies like aliens or whatever trying to like take over it, and they have some I don't know, something like that.
But like in its heyday, so it'd be kind of fun doing a past thing when it was first being built. I think that would be actually a really kind of cool episode. BBC, RTD, listen to us. We're coming up with some free stuff.
More Latino representation, please.
Yes.
I know Dave. We got to wrap up, but I know Dave is heading off to
Earth Station Who.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what's going on. Because if you want to continue the chats, Who-wise, Dave's heading over right now. Tell everybody.
Won't be live. It's the podcast. It's the podcast. So the podcast, I think, will drop on Thursday or Friday. But yeah, we will be talking about Vengeance on Varos, the 6th Doctor adventure.
I want in.
It was good luck because
he kicked and screamed.
What is happening on Friday is my review of the 6th Doctor source book for the Doctor Who role-playing game will be live.
Cool.
And so you'll be able to read that on Friday. And if we go over to the banners, we've got the link will be there.
Sorry.
The link will be down there, therathole.ca/Who for all my Doctor Who role-playing games and other Who-related game reviews.
We want to thank everybody for joining us today. Really appreciate it. Please stay safe out there as always. I want to thank Sophia Myles, and if you're seeing this a little bit 10 days after, happy birthday to Sophia. We're going to keep tracking her down on the Twitter, and we're going to hold her accountable. She said she'll come back. We're going to bring her back there. That's awesome there. So anybody have any last words before we go? The 6th Doctor has a last word. I'm just bringing that up real fast.
Don't miss it.
So don't miss it. So anybody have any last words before we go? We had Madame de Pompadour.
We had her, and she's awesome and amazing. And drop again between interviews if you'd like to. If there's a topic you'd like us to tackle, if there's not a topic you want us to talk about,
we have a
topic that you want us to completely destroy because we're just going to have technical issues anyway. Please, okay. Apparently, the topic is to paint.
We have a request, Melanie.
Okay, I'll paint the 10th Doctor like one of your French girls.
We've had live episodes doing all sorts of things.
You're right. Maybe I'll do that, and I'll paint you, my love. Again. But no, if you have other topics and whatnot and ideas, please drop them into the comment section. And we will try to get more ideas for next week and all that kind of stuff because we're always open to ideas and topics and stuff like that.
Speaking of topics, I would love to have, our audience throw out some ideas, what we would like to see us do as panels when we show up in places like MegaCon.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I got it, Mark. I hadn't had a chance. I just been busy. I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance to jump over there, but I did. I saw that. I got a picture over there. I'll check it out when I get there. But folks, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Again, check us out. Space Coast Comic-Con. Now, June 16th, we'll be out there for the one day. And don't forget MegaCon weekend, which will be taking place in May. I'll leave this. I just got to stop. Everybody, again, please stay safe out there. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe on the way out. Like, share, comment, everything. Make sure you, if you haven't, give a love out to Sophia and just write happy birthday on the way out the door.
Follow all of us.
And follow everybody. Melina over with the Spacebook, as well as TARDIS Zone. I was hoping Noah would be up here.
And my channel, Melina Vader. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I really don't know. But
well, okay, put it in the chat.
Something's gonna happen. I don't know. Something's gonna happen. Can I say something? I have to give myself credit because I didn't know I was gonna come here, and I wasn't wearing makeup. At least my eyes.
Me neither. So don't feel bad.
No,
I did it.
We need filters.
I did it like in 5 minutes with eyeliner and everything. I just went like, okay, let me just put on the eyeshadow. Let me put liner. Yeah. And it's like, I was just doing it just in case. And then he's like, was like, get on. I was like, okay. But I just set up the camera. That was it. So.
Melanie over at Pieces of Melee on the Instagram, Dave over at therathole.ca with a new episode coming out on Earth Station 2. Check them out. And Mackenzie Floor, the Red Wands, as well as the Binge Watcher's Guide to Doctor Who. Everybody, thank you again. Stay safe out there. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell your friends. Thank you for joining us. And happy birthday, Sophia, if you get to see this. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
And happy birthday, Sophia.
Yeah.
Again.
Whee!